What's up, guys? This is High Fidelity TV podcast. I'm your host, Joseph No, and I am joined by my co host, Edwin Lee. How's it going, Edwin?
Everything's cool. How you doing, Joe?
Yeah, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Edwin and I are broadcasting from our homes via uh, over the phone, and you're all good over there, Edwin?
Yeah, everyone's safe, healthy, doing our best to stay inside.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. Yeah, due to these COVID-19 craziness, we just want to let our listeners know to stay safe, stay home, listen to vinyls, watch High Fidelity, the movie and the TV series. You got nothing else to do. And
Read
then,
the book.
yeah, read the book too. Yeah, why not, right? And then come back and listen to our podcast if, maybe listen to it over again if you want. You got nothing better to do, right? And it is odd timing because it's actually a couple days removed from the 20th anniversary of the film.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, High Fidelity was released March 31st. Blah, blah. Was, High Fidelity was released March 31st, 2000.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's crazy. But before we get into our show, again, we are a High Fidelity TV podcast where we talk about the High Fidelity TV series on Hulu. And if you want to find more of our episodes, you can find us on highfidelitytv.wordpress.com. High Fidelity, you can email us at highfidelitytvpodcast@protonmail.com. And you can find us on Instagram at highfidelitytvpodcast. And in this episode, we're going to do brief intro, talk about have some news from the show, and after that, we had a couple of we have a 10-question trivia contest that we've developed for each other. And then right after that, we're going to get right into the episode recap. This is episode 9, titled Fun Rob. Cool. So, a bit of news. There's no renewal status yet. I mean, it's only been like 2 months removed from the series premiere. So, but this news site does have high hopes. I mean, the show's been getting good reviews. So the likelihood is high that it will be renewed, but there's no confirmation yet. Have you been hearing any news or on social media lately, Edwin?
I haven't heard anything, but fingers crossed. I've been enjoying the series, and it sounds like other people have too. So I know a lot lesser shows have been renewed. So
Exactly.
I hope
Right.
that this will get renewed.
Yeah. Another news. The screenwriters of the original series, I believe their names are D.V. DeVincentis and Steve Pink, who adapted the novel by Nick Hornby, directed by Stephen Frears. They revealed that they were not credited for the adaptation of the TV series, and it says in quote here, quote, I was kind of stunned to find our writing in their script, like a lot of it. DeVincentis said, quote, just lifted from the screenplay of the movie and dropped down into the TV show. I'd never seen anything like it, end quote. So it seems as though um, they lifted most of the scenes and dialogue from the movie without crediting the original writers. What do you think about that, Edwin?
I'm yeah, a little surprised. Like they would say, "Oh, it's an homage to the original," and we wanted to uh, give references as a nod to the original. But yeah, I'm surprised that they wouldn't acknowledge the writers of the original screenplay. Because as a fan of the movie, I can pick out scenes, lines from the movie left and right, and I know it's directly from the movie.
Exactly, yeah.
And for them not to get any kind of acknowledgement for that. Yeah, that seems wrong.
Yeah, and it seems as though they're not disputing it. There's no legal issue there because, again, here's another quote. Quote, they could have ripped this off all they want. We don't own the material. Disney owns the material. We don't own the book. Nick Hornby wrote the book. Not only did we not write the underlining material, we don't own the material we wrote.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I guess they just are a little mad that they weren't credited or maybe consulted at least. Like, most for stuff like that they're consulted. But again, we don't know the full extent of how the development of the screenplay. Maybe they had to they greenlit it really quick, and they had to go into production really quick, so they didn't have time to do all that extraneous stuff. So.
But all it would take is like one line in the credits of the title sequence.
Sure. Yeah.
Inspired by.
Yeah.
The original screenplay written by so and so and so and so. It seems like it would be that simple.
Of course, yeah. Or even like what they do nowadays, maybe just like have them as a cameo in the show. They could just be like record diggers or something. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. I mean, probably nobody knows who they are though, so it'd be hard to pinpoint that. But anyway, that is the end of our news section. So we're gonna get in straight to our trivia section. So Edwin and I have compiled 10 questions of trivia based on the based on the TV show, correct?
Yes.
So did you want to go first, Edwin?
Sure.
Awesome. Go for it.
All right.
So wait. Are there any? There's no winner. There's no stakes here, right? We're not doing it.
No, it's just for fun.
Just for fun? Okay. If you guys have any ideas of whoever wins, we should do something. Let us know. But in either case, we are gonna be doing a top five list, maybe a couple top five lists for our last hurrah in episode 10. So let us know what you guys think of what top fives you want to hear. But anyway, Edwin, sorry to cut you off. Please.
No problem.
Go ahead.
So I'm up with 10 questions, one for every episode. So question 10, I may or may not ask, just because we haven't talked about episode 10 yet.
That's fine. You can go for it.
Okay, okay.
I mean, because I've seen the episode already, so.
Yeah. So episode 1, question 1. So you remember Clyde and Rob, they hook up that night, and after Rob wakes up, she notices that Clyde's gone, and then she goes into the kitchen and eats a bowl of cereal.
Uh-huh.
My question is, what kind of cereal is she eating in that scene?
Damn it. I don't remember because the first couple episodes are going to be hard to pinpoint because it's so far removed from them, right? But instead of thinking too long and hard about it, I'm going to just go with the first image that pops into my head is Frosted Flakes.
Not a bad guess.
Okay.
Do you want the answer, or are we gonna?
Yeah.
Oh, since there's no state. It was Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles. Damn it. Okay, cool.
I know that was a bit just kind of obscure and.
No, that's a good question.
Should I just go?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, please.
Question 2 from episode 2. Towards the beginning of the episode, Simon comes into Rob's office wearing a Lou Reed t-shirt. What Lou Reed album does the picture on his shirt come from? Which album cover?
I am not familiar with Lou Reed. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to just... Wow. I do know Lou Reed's songs. I mean, it's better to just guess something, but The only thing I know is Walk Along the Wild Side.
Walk on the Wild Side. Oh, good guess. It was a rock and roll animal.
Rock and Roll Animal?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. For my third question from episode 3, one's really obscure, so I'll say that first, but if you're like pass, I have a backup question. So
Okay.
the harder question that I think is harder, what's the name of the middle school that Rob went to? There's a scene where she pulls out her yearbook and she calls up Kevin Bannister.
Yeah, you're killing me. I'm gonna have to pass on this one.
Okay, back up. Question 3B. What's the name of the cafe that Rob goes into to check out what Frosé is all about?
Oh. Can I go back to the first question? I'm gonna just say like John F. Kennedy High School or something.
That's a safe guess. You'd have to really look closely. It was Wave Hill Middle School.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know, right? And the cafe with the Frosé is Cafe Colette.
Colette. Okay, I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, it was written on the door, but yeah, it's just very quick shot.
Yeah. Thanks for killing me with these questions, Edwin.
Question 4 from episode. Well, it's actually from every episode. What does the neon sign in Championship Final on the wall of the entrance say? So there's a neon sign. It's not right above the entrance door.
Yeah.
Kind of
it's
to the left.
In the inside, right?
Yeah, on the inside.
It's either, I know it's not no phones, it's no CDs.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, great. I got one, yes.
Okay, I think you'll get this next one too. In question 5, episode 5, when Tim, the cheating husband of the wife, Parker Posey's character that wants to sell off his records, when Tim is showing off his knowledge when he meets Clyde and Rob, and he's telling them about the restoration of the artwork in Ben Molman's bar, what did he say was used to clean the cigarette smoke that covered the ceiling?
Oh, I just listened to this episode too, but I overlooked that part because I was thinking about doing a Tim quote as well. But
I think if you dig deep, you can get it.
Some kind of wallpaper. It was.
Well, to clean the wall.
Oh, to clean the wall?
Right, because it was covered with smoke, and he said, "Oh, you'll never believe what they used to clean it."
I don't know. I'm gonna just say. I'm drawing a complete blank here. I don't even know what cleaning products are available. Hydrochloride? I don't know.
The answer, Wonder Bread.
Wonder Bread.
All right.
How many did I get so far? Just one?
What's that?
How many did I get so far? Just one, right?
You got one so far. One out of 5.
Okay.
But
right.
I think you'll finish strong.
Yeah. Okay. Because these episodes are clearer in my head than the last 5. So, or the first 5 anyway. So.
Question 6 from episode 6. When Rob catches up to Peachy and Shane after they ripped off the records, and Rob is looking at the records that they took from the store, who is one of the artists of one of the stolen records? Rob mentions 3. I just need 1.
Yeah, she does. I knew some of your questions were going to be record related. I should have. Yeah, I guess it just goes to show how much attention I was paying. Fuck. Can you give me a hint?
Sure. I'll give you a hint for each artist. One is a highly regarded singer, songwriter, folk artist.
Okay.
The second is a well-known prog rock band.
Mm-hmm.
Third one is the wife of a famous, iconic jazz musician who is a musician very much in her own right.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm completely. You see, I know the artist that the Kinky Wizards steal, but I don't know the artist that Peachy and Shane steal. See, I know that they steal.
I'll give you initials of each.
Okay, great, yeah.
So the first folk artist initials are JM. The prog rock band's initials are KC, and the jazz musician, her initials are AC.
The only one that comes up to mind to me is JM, Joni Mitchell.
Yes, got it.
All right, thank you so much. I needed freaking 6 clues to get one. Thank you, Edwin. What are the other ones?
King Crimson and Alice Coltrane.
Oh, I would have never gotten that.
All right, 2 for 6.
Yeah.
Episode 7, question 7. I've got 2 questions. I'll go with the harder one first, just to see if this was meaningful or not. But you might remember in this episode, Peachy and Shane ask Charisse if she wants to jam with them.
Uh-huh.
Because they see her ad on the bulletin board. Why were Peachy and Shane looking for a new singer to jam with?
I just listened to this part too. Damn it. Their singer went to some music school? Juilliard or something? No.
I'll take that.
Yeah?
The lead singer went to college, Sarah Lawrence College.
Oh, okay, great. Awesome.
I'll take that, yeah.
Okay.
My follow-up question, I guess this will just be for fun. Another record question. What record does Cam pick up that makes him say, oh man, this takes me way back?
Oh, Cameron? Fuck.
Picks up a record which leads into a story of his.
Oh, Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Yeah, Blood, Sex, Magic.
What was the... Oh, I don't know what the album is.
All right, so you're 3 for 7.
Okay, great.
Question 8. What song do both Simon and Rob agree should be the opener to Rob's DJ set toward the beginning of the episode?
Yes. I don't know what the song is, but it's Pointer Sisters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Automatic by Pointer Sisters.
Okay, Automatic. You'll accept that?
Yes. So what is that, 4 for 8?
Okay, cool, yes.
Yep. Okay. 50%. Question 9. What are Rob's plans for her birthday after she's done getting quick birthday drinks with Simon and Charisse?
Oh, yeah. So this is... I have to get this because I just recapped the episode for this show today. So, buy an expensive-ish bottle of champagne.
Nice. I like how you included the ish.
Have some Indian food.
Yes.
And watch The Sopranos.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. Very thorough answer.
Thank you.
So 5 for 9.
I better have gotten that one. Shit.
Up on this back out. All right, final question. So hopefully it's not a major spoiler. But in episode 10, we find out that Charisse really, really, really wants this guitar.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It happens to be a blue Fender Mustang guitar. When Charisse is talking to Simon about that guitar that she wants so badly, she mentions 3 artists that played that same type of guitar.
Oh.
All you have to do is name one of the artists she mentions, but I'll give you a bonus point if you can name all 3.
I definitely cannot name all 3. I probably won't even be able to name one. So, can you give me a hint?
Sure. Um, First one, uh, really known for wearing a cardigan sweater that I think went for auction at a real high price. The second, he's a rock and roll Hall of Famer. The band from New York, really known for their kind of artsy, post-punk but groovy sound. And the last one's the toughest one. You'd have to be a real fan of this genre of music. It's a guitar / singer for a very iconic shoegaze band.
Okay. Well, the only one that I can definitely, stands out for me is the Cardigan, which comes to mind to me. Kurt Cobain.
Yes, Kurt Cobain.
Okay, good. I was gonna say like Jimi Hendrix or something before you gave me the clues, but what were the other ones?
So she mentions Kurt, as in Kurt Cobain, David Byrne from Talking Heads,
Okay.
and Belinda Butcher from My Bloody Valentine.
I would have never gotten that.
Yeah.
Thank you for the hint, Edwin.
So you got 6 out of 10, 60%.
All right. Yeah, I did better than our first
Yeah.
trivia contest, which I only got like 3 or 4, I think. So, and mainly all BTS questions. So, you're a very sneaky trivia questionnaire person, Edwin. Thank you for that.
I wanted to make you work for it.
Yeah, that was really fun. Thank you for that.
Balls.
Awesome. All right, you ready for yours?
Yes.
Cool. So these are all just like random. So I think I don't have anything from episode 10. So, okay. So number 1, what is Hammer Slam?
Hammer Slam is a tradition that Cameron has with his good buddy nicknamed the Hammer, that supposedly whenever you see the hammer you're supposed to down a shot, but it's come to be revealed that basically a hammer slam is just an excuse to drink for whatever reason. And in episode 9, I believe, when Cameron's having his party for, his impending fatherhood, Cameron and his friend, I don't remember his name other than the Hammer, they invite Clyde to do a hammer slam.
Okay, but there's 2 parts to that. You said the first one, whenever you see Hammer take a shot, but then whenever you also, there's something else. I'll give you a hint. It has to do with music.
I don't know.
It's whenever there's a new track, take a shot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to.
You can
Yeah. I'll give you a half point. Sure, why not? I mean, I thought we just saw that, but I mean, yeah, we did recap that like almost 3 weeks ago, so it's understandable that you missed that. I think you'll get this one though. Number 2, Rob has wanted that rare Man Who Sold the World Bowie record since when?
Since
I can give you a hint if you're questioning it.
Are you looking for an age?
No. She was in what grade?
Oh, 6th grade.
Is that your final answer?
7th grade.
Close but no cigar. It's the 8th grade.
8th grade. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so number 3. Who does Rob say she's listening to on her Walkman? Oh, this is like an earlier, probably episode 1. So,
Okay.
Who does Rob say she's listening to on her Walkman when she meets Kevin Bannister? Who does she say she's listening to? Because like when she meets him, Kevin Bannister's like, "Who are you listening to?" And she's like, she says she's listening to this band. I can give you a hint. Pop rock, post like grunge. I guess they could be considered grunge. They're more pop rock in the 90s. Starts with the. Now, I don't want if I give you the.
Third Eye Blind?
No. It's Weezer.
Weezer, that's right.
Yeah.
Weezer.
Okay, number 4. Who is Rob actually listening to? You need a hint?
Sure.
Well, I don't know how I can give you the initials. You probably just get it. Yeah, I'll just give FZ.
SZ?
FZ.
FZ. F as in Frank.
Yes.
FZ. Frank Zappa.
Yeah, okay, there you go. 1.5. You're in the game. Number 5. This is, I believe, from the first episode as well. Yeah, I'm giving you all hard ones now from the first episode. What song is playing while Rob and Clyde are... This is when they first meet and they're having their Tinder date or whatever.
Yeah.
What song is playing while they're talking about Fleetwood Mac? It's obviously a Fleetwood Mac song.
Yeah. Is it Dreams?
Yes! Awesome. Okay, into the quote section. So, who said this? Quote. Her name is Andy. She was made of all the stuffed animals I couldn't have because I was allergic.
That's Parker Posey's New York artist character. I don't.
Yeah,
remember.
yeah. I'll give you that. Yeah, Noreen.
Noreen. That's right.
Noreen's her name. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty obvious, right? Okay. Number 7. She just pointed a flare gun up at the universe, and the universe answered. Who said that? Let me know if you need a hint.
No, I'll go without a hint.
Okay.
I'll say Charisse.
No.
No.
He did. Liam said it, but he was talking to Charisse though. So good guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was talking about when she was like trying to find a band, and he was talking about
that's right.
Courtney Love and Hole.
That's right.
Yeah, a little bit of kind of tough there. Yeah. Okay. Number 8. You'll get this for sure. Radio Star, right? Fucking love these guys. Radio Star, right? Fucking love these guys.
I know this.
It's when 2 important characters first meet.
Oh, yeah. Simon?
Yes. So
He goes up to Rob
yeah.
at her DJ gig or something.
So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4.5 so far. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So if you get these last 2, you win because you beat me by
half a point. Okay.
You beat me by half. Number 9. If I accompany you to the playground, does that make me an accomplice? This person said this to a person like making fun of her.
If I accompany you to the playground, does it? Should I have 2 people in mind, but I'm going to say Charisse.
Yes. Good job. She obviously she was in reference to Liam because Liam's underage. Well, kind of. He's probably 18 already, but okay. Final question.
So,
if you get this,
possible game winner.
Yes, it all comes down to this, my friend.
Buzzer beater.
Yeah, no pressure. All right. I think you could get this, though. Okay. Quote, it's not even music. It's more of a state of being. Who said that?
Oh, yeah. I got this. It's in reference to Clyde's love for fish when they're watching a gig that Rob wanted to see someone say Clyde.
Yes.
Yes.
And you win, my friend. Edwin wins again. He is the undisputed trivia king.
Slim.
Good job, Edwin.
Thank you.
Woohoo.
Good questions. That was fun.
Yeah, that was that was really fun. Thank you for compiling those questions. So, if you guys have an idea of what top five you want us to do next episode, please let us know. And so, let's get right into the episode, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, this episode is episode 9, the penultimate episode of the season, maybe the series, if this is in fact a one and done. So, episode 9, Fun Rob, was written by the showrunners Veronica West, Sarah Kashurka, and Lee Ann Beatty. The episode was directed by Chayoki Nasor. Uh, his or her only credit of direction of the series. And a lot of writers, 3 writers, including the showrunners. So it does feel like almost like let's get all of our ideas in this one before like the last episode. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they usually do that in case they get canceled or they don't pick up. They get like kind of wrap it up all of their themes in that episode, or maybe set up all of their themes for the final episode. So, what did you think of this episode, Edwin? Initial thoughts before we get into our recap.
I thought it was a good episode. It deals with a lot of things that have been lingering, but things come to a head by the end of the episode.
Yeah,
so
that's
it was important to the storyline.
Yeah, it's a great way of putting it. Did you find? Well, I found that the tone of this episode in particular was a bit of a downer.
Mm-hmm.
But did you like that?
I don't mind melancholy when
yeah.
music or movies or shows. So I didn't mind it.
Okay. Yeah, and a thing I wanted to circle back to was the original film had a lot of melancholy moments as well, right?
Yeah.
But it was kind of sprinkled throughout the film, and I guess that's like the heart of that film was like the breakup with Rob and Laura and how they were trying to mend it or how Rob was trying to move on. So, and for a while, like the last, I want to say like 4 or 5 episodes, we didn't really deal with this breakup anymore, right? Rob pretty much was moving on. She was dating other people, and so like to come back to this like right at the end, to me seemed a little bit off, and the tone was kind of jarring for me. But we knew we always had to come back to it. That's the heart of the story. That's the heart of Rob's story, was her relationship, her engagement, her failed engagement with Max. So we knew we had to deal with it, and I didn't really want to deal with it because we've been having so much fun, and this episode is called Fun Rob, and kind of I guess a subversion of our expectation, right? Because she's not really fun in this episode.
Right.
So let's get right into the recap. Unless you had any more thoughts to add to that, Edwin?
No, I'd say whatever comes up relating to that, it'll eventually be talked about.
Okay, sure. Okay, cool. So the episode starts with they're in the shop. Charisse is 3 hours late again.
Don't start.
Ladies and gentlemen, she has arrived.
You know what, Rob? You're already enough of an asshole without all the sarcasm. I personally advise against it.
Well, I would advise not showing up 3 hours late and then talking smack to your employer.
Ooh, talking smack, Robin. I bet you feel extra black today.
And you can tell Rob's already just like in a mood. We don't know why. She's like, if you're late one more time, you're fired, right?
Yeah. When Charisse is walking in, Rob does the sarcastic clapping thing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That Rob in the movie does as well when Jack Black's character comes in late. So nice reference back to the movie. now that you've mentioned how the original screenwriters weren't credited, it shows another element from the original movie that was important enough or iconic enough
Right.
to bring back in the show. So I thought that was a cool nod to the movie. They have this kind of snippy exchange, like you said. Rob was in a mood. Shreese.
Well, let me ask you this: when did the Rob do the slow clap in the movie? Because I don't really remember that.
It's like in the middle of the movie. It looks like Jack Black's character, I don't know, might be nursing a hangover or something. He kind of comes in really quietly, and Rob, I think, is smoking a cigarette and probably sitting on the counter and does a sarcastic clap. I forget what that leads up into, but...
Well, we have a lot of time now that we're on lockdown, so you better revisit the movie and then report back to me when it really does happen. So,
yes,
cool. Yeah. So yeah, it's a interesting relationship that they have because like they're always kind of quipping at each other. It feels like they're not really close, but I guess that's just the way they express themselves to each other. Like, you know what I mean? Like I guess that's like a very New York thing too, as well, right? But.
Yeah, they don't ever seem to be mad at each other for that long. Like, it's happened before where someone says something, but, they're back to hanging out and having fun not too long after. So I think that's the dynamic of their relationship.
Yeah, and we've seen it before, too. I think I mentioned it in that episode where Charisse was like mad at Rob for not really mad, but like just kind of annoyed that like she would lend Peachy and Shane records and would want to like press their record and sell it at their store, and she was just like really annoyed. And then like the next scene they're just going to a show, right? So.
Right.
Yo, Charisse.
Yes, madam.
If you're late one more time, you're fired.
What?
Blake and Simon. Well, we finally get barista guy's name, Blake, right? And Simon mentions that him and Blake are going to DeSalle's after. And I think Charisse mentioned something that like, they want to invite her out, and then she's like, she can't or something, and then Charisse says something like, "Fun Rob was the best. This Rob is the worst."
So Blake and I are gonna go to DeSalle's later. See Demon Dolphin. There's some tickets left if you want to come.
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, well, you want to go for a drink before?
No, not really.
Yo, you know what I miss? Fun Rob. Fun Rob went to shows. Fun Rob went out for drinks. Fun Rob was fun. This new Rob, the fucking worst.
You know what I miss? Fun Rob.
Yes, exactly.
Or yeah. That's a good line, and it.
When was Rob really fun in this series? I'm trying to remember. Was it because in the beginning she just broke up? So.
Well, I'm sure the Rob that would DJ at clubs and the Rob who go to concerts and shows.
Okay, right, yeah. Well, I'm talking about like in the timeline of the series, of like from her breakup to now. But I guess when she like hung out with them with like Liam and stuff, she was kind of fun Rob then, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So shall we move on?
Yeah.
Flash forward to Rob on a balcony or like on the steps of like her apartment, and the show this episode would do this, right? It would just bounce around back to Rob. Like Rob on the steps of her apartment is like the narration point, right? She's like narrating from that perspective, and then like the rest of the episode is, I guess, flashbacks to whatever she's saying on those steps, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the title credits after that.
I've just been thinking about life, you know what I mean? And it's just so fucking intense, man. It's like, at what point do you stop looking forward and start looking backwards?
Back at the bar. I guess they're at the Allied. That looks similar, right? It looks like something, the place where they had Cameron's last hurrah.
Yeah.
And then they reveal that they forgot, I guess.
Oh, fuck. I forgot.
Don't.
No, it's fucked. It's today.
Rob mentioned something, and then Simon realizes that they forgot her birthday, because, like,
Yeah.
Simon's like, oh, shit, right?
Yeah.
And they pretty much feel guilty.
Come on, man. You told me ahead of time I could maybe cancel my shit.
You guys, chill. I'm good. I have plans.
What are your plans?
At this point, she's always saying, like, she's very elusive, right, Charisse? Like, we don't know where she's going, but she always has something that she does, and that's always
Right.
kind of
She's
suspicious.
Got to
but-
meet somebody or do something.
Yeah, she can't cancel her plans, right? And then Simon has a date with Blake. So Rob's just like, it's cool, don't worry about it. She's just trying to kind of almost play it off, like defense mechanism.
And I think she's keeping her birthday kind of on the down low because some people, they don't want to really acknowledge their birthday because it means they're getting older, and
Sure.
it's way too early to have a midlife crisis at 30. But
Right.
I think Rob just doesn't want to bring attention that she's turning 30.
Yeah.
There's definitely different camps of people when it comes to birthdays. There's the type that wants to publicize it and announce it to the world. Hey, it's my birthday. Hooray for me. And there's the other side that just downplays it, and it's not a big deal, and they don't want to do much. And I don't know exactly what Rob's motivation for keeping it on the DL is.
Yeah. No, that's a great assessment. I'm glad you pointed that out, because it does initially, especially we observe her behavior at this point, like she's hiding it and downplaying everything. She's definitely seems like of the variety that she downplays it and she doesn't want to make a big deal out of it. But let me ask you this. What do you think personally you are? Are you more of a celebrator or someone who downplays it, like Rob?
Oh, I'm definitely a down player.
Okay, yeah.
I don't really want to treat it any differently. Like, if people want to hang out, that's cool on my birthday, but I'm not going to make announcements or make any special plans.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think I'm the same way, yeah. I'm much more of you and Rob. And but I also feel the way she feels later when she feels hurt, but we'll get into that when we get there. Because, like, some people... Well, again, I'll put a pin in that and we'll talk about that later. But
Yeah.
Shall we move on to the... Oh, well, this is part of your trivia question, right? Because Rob announces what her plans are for the evening for her birthday. And that is...
I'm gonna buy an expensive-ish bottle of champagne, and then I'm gonna order a shit ton of Indian food, and then I'm finally gonna start watching The Sopranos.
Yeah,
Which
finally.
sounds like a great party to me.
Right, exactly. And then Charisse is like, what's up with this Sopranos thing, right? She's just like, kind of almost making fun of it.
Yeah, and they bring back that joke a little later in a following scene where people are like, "What, you haven't seen it already?"
Yeah, which brings us to Rob
I kind
in
of
the
relate
tub,
to
right?
Everyone's seen Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad or Mad Men. Except me. Like, I'm the only person in the world left that hasn't seen any of those iconic shows.
Have you not seen The Sopranos either?
No.
Okay, yeah. But, well, so we move on to her in the bathtub getting a video call from her mom.
Hey, I have an idea. Why don't you get on Metro North and just come to our party?
Definitely not.
Okay, so you're just gonna stay in.
Yes, I'm gonna stay in. I'm gonna eat this Indian food. I'm gonna watch The Sopranos.
Hey, happy birthday, Rob.
Hi, Uncle Marty.
Played by Jessica Hesh. She's famous for being in Friends and another one of those shows that you mentioned that you've never seen, Breaking Bad. So she's a very kind of prominent TV figure. So when I saw her, I was like, oh, hey, I know you. So then she's talking to her mom and Uncle Marty, right? It's not her dad, because she calls him
Right.
Uncle Marty, and then Marty ends up spoiling The Sopranos for Rob, right?
So The Sopranos, huh? How about when Big Pussy turns rat and Tony fucking whacks him.
Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. I'm on the first
You
episode.
don't watch The Sopranos?
Yeah.
He gives a funny something about Pussy. There's this character named Pussy. He's like, Tony,
Yeah, when he turns snitch or something.
yeah, it's like Tony's right hand man, one of his like closest confidants. So I guess he does spoil it for Rob. Rob's like, I'm not there yet, thanks. She's probably on like episode 1.
And sadly, she drops the Indian food in the tub, which I thought was perhaps the saddest moment.
Oh right, yeah.
Such a waste of good food.
Exactly, yeah. And you can see the disappointment in her face. She's like so defeated. Before that, Mom says smoke some pot and have a little sex. And Rob's like uncomfortable.
Rob's horrified.
Right, yeah, exactly. That was a top 5 moment for me. It was number 5. Just because we got so much information about... We never met her mom. We just maybe heard her talk on the phone, right? About like... Wait, no, that was the movie, right? Did she ever talk to her mom on the phone? In the TV show? Right, she doesn't, right?
She might have. It doesn't stand out to me.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we've like heard anything about her, so it was a cool introduction to the mom, and then all the Sopranos stuff made it really funny for me.
Yeah.
And then after that, Rob's out of the tub. She calls a bunch of people, pretty much like old acquaintances, like on her phone list that she hasn't talked to in a while, maybe that she hasn't texted in years, right?
So yeah, it's my birthday, and So it's my birthday, and I'm thinking we go out tonight.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Let's go to the club. It's my birthday." She's like this montage of her just like trying to get people to come, right?
I thought one of the funnier lines was, "Oh, this is not a booty call. It's 9:30."
Right. Yeah. That was a good one. Yeah, and then she finally gets to somebody who's like excited to actually hear from her, and then you can hear the excitement on the other end. You don't hear fully what they're saying, but they're really excited to hear from her. And then we get into the next scene where we meet. No, sorry, Edwin.
Oh no.
Oh, I thought you had something else to say. Yeah. So yeah, this person's really excited to hear from Rob, and then we get the next scene. We meet her, and it is a character named Tanya, Rob's first roommate in the city, right?
Tanya was my first roommate in the city. We met on Craigslist, so you get it.
Yeah, Rob uses the analogy of the chips that are at the bottom of the bag, that you don't want them at first, but when that's all there's left, you have no choice but to eat those chips. And that's her friend Tanya, and she explains that Tanya and her met on Craigslist.
Yeah, that was a good.
And then she follows
detail.
that up with the line, "You get it, like you know how that goes."
Right, yeah. So we follow them into the club. I guess Tanya still has good connections because like she just goes straight in, right?
Yeah.
And she's talking about like some small talk, and she mentions she has a baby.
Yeah, my life's really glamorous. I breastfeed, I breast pump, I breastfeed, I breast pump, I breast.
Can we just stop and talk about Tanya's sis for a second?
And then she sees an old one-night stand, which is a funny moment. And then she's like, "Let's move," and they move to the patio. And then Rob, I believe, at this point is waiting for somebody.
Yes.
Yeah, she mentions that there's going to be a third. And then we meet her old punk friend, Squid.
What's happening? What's going on?
It's this guy we hooked up like a million years ago, and he was totally obsessed with me.
Oh, shit.
Awful.
Squid is a great character.
Ends up being the same guy that Tanya is trying to evade because he was an old one-night stand.
Oh, okay. I didn't get that because when I was recapping, I wasn't really watching it, so...
Oh, okay. Yeah, like...
Oh, shit. Squid?
You know that guy?
Yeah, he's my friend. He came to meet us here.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It all comes together that Rob's friend is Tanya's one-night stand, which makes for a fun, awkward situation. And Rob explained that Squid originally tried hitting on her, but that wasn't going anywhere, so they just ended up becoming friends.
Yeah, it's an interesting bit of information because I was operating on the idea that they're just strangers. Yeah, this makes it a completely different.
Yeah, do you remember that? Like she keeps looking at him like she knows him, and is maybe expecting him to say something, acknowledging her. But Squid's like, "Oh, have we ever met?" Or he's like, "Oh, nice to meet you," and she gives him this dirty look, like, "What do you mean? Don't you remember me?"
Was it me, or was I getting like a vibe from your friend?
There's a vibe for sure. Oh, 1 second.
Yeah, and that was a top moment for me too. Just meeting Squid, such a funny character that we meet from Rob's past, and such an unlikely gathering for her little soiree, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any of these top moments for you or no?
My top moments, we talked about them. I guess I just didn't stop to highlight them. Just quick recap. One top 5 moment was when Rob does the clapping thing when Shreese comes in late, just because it harkened back to the original movie.
Uh-huh.
My second top 5 moment was when Rob actually flexed a bit and then said, "If you're late one more time to Shreese, that you're fired," because Rob's usually this laid back, easygoing person, but you could tell she's in a mood and intense and not wanting to take anything at that moment. And Shreese sees it and realizes, Rob's serious. So I like that because you're seeing a different side of Rob.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that too, because it's also, we forgot to mention that she was kind of deflecting, right? Because she was disappointed that everyone forgot her birthday.
Yeah.
But sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, a little passive aggressive in a way.
Yeah.
It's like she's not quite saying whatever might be on her mind, but it's getting vented in other ways.
It's just pure kind of selfishness to me. Also, it's just like taking out your anger on other people. So.
And Rob's selfishness is just, it's always been there. It's been part of her character. But in these final 2 episodes, it just brews and is boiling over. And it becomes the focus of Rob's depiction, especially in these final 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's a great point. And a theme we will get right back to in our final thoughts. But continuing with the episode, Clyde is at the gym. Well, Rob calls Clyde from the gym.
Yes.
And wants to squash things from the last
Raw. Or does Clyde call her? I think Clyde calls her.
You may be correct, yeah, because I thought that she was calling him back because he left all these voicemails. But yeah, you're right. I think Clyde does actually call her.
Because Rob didn't call Clyde when she was hitting up people to hang out with, because Rob thought Clyde hated her, and I think she even says as much, like, "Oh, I think he hates me," or "He probably hates me." So I don't think
right.
Rob calls Clyde. I'm pretty sure Clyde calls Rob because his gym's in her neighborhood, and whenever he's in her neighborhood, I think he's always down to hit her up and give her a call. So I think that's it. This is just another one of those times, and Rob is more than happy to talk with him because she thought he hated her in the first place, but it's someone that she actually wants to hang out with.
Right? Yeah, you could tell when she actually does want to talk to him. So
I feel like an idiot yelling. I'm in your hood. I'm gonna be at the gym for like another hour, sir.
Okay, cool. I'll text you when I leave here. Stay in the hood.
Yeah, great. Okay.
All right, cool.
Later, dude.
During that phone conversation, Rob says that she's hanging out with some friends for her birthday, and I think Clyde is a little surprised, like, "Oh, why didn't you mention it?" He doesn't even know it's a birthday, so I think he feels left out without saying as much. He's just playing it cool, but you get a sense that he feels left out. Like, why wouldn't I know that it's your birthday, and why wouldn't I be there to celebrate with you? And the strange thing is, Rob wants so bad for Clyde to be there and to hang out, but she never invited him, mainly because she thought that Clyde would be mad at her.
Yeah, that's an interesting dynamic going on with them right now. So at the end of that, Rob pretty much says like, "I'll text you later," and then the next scene we get to they're all toasting to her birthday at the bar, and reveals that Squid is actually a recovering alcoholic.
Yes.
He's like 3 years sober or something like that, right?
Right, and he says, he's talking about how when he was drinking, he made a lot of bad decisions.
Right, exactly.
And you can understand that one of his bad decisions was having a one-night stand with Tanya. And when Tanya hears that, she feels bad, like, I was one of those bad decisions that he's talking about. So that was a very cringeworthy moment.
Yeah. That's a good point. And then in the midst of this is a long scene. A lot of stuff happens. Tanya shows pics of her kid on a hairy nipple. I guess that's a father. And then Rob's like narrating about like her disdain for baby pictures. Like no one cares, right?
Right.
Yeah, that was kind of funny because everyone could relate to that. Like all the parents just showing their kids like, oh, you gotta like nod your head and say, yeah, they're cute, they're beautiful, right?
Right. Rob and Squidward being very polite and trying to look like they cared.
What was Squid's reaction?
I think they were just kind of like smiling and nodding their head, but they were trying to get back into their conversation that they were having.
Okay.
As quickly as possible, but then Tanya would bring up another picture or another video.
Oh my God, you guys, wait, this is my baby Asher, who's fallen asleep with her mouth open right on her daddy's hairy ass nipple.
During the scene, there's a birthday cake that's being taken out.
Yes.
And, at the club, they make a huge ordeal about it. They make a big deal. They probably, like, paid extra for that. And Rob's embarrassed. She's like, this is a very cringeworthy moment for me. Because Rob's, like, thinking that it's for her, right? And she's like, oh, you shouldn't have, or whatever,
you
right?
can see the smile on her face. Like,
yeah.
You remember...
And then, like, it reveals that it's, like, for another table. And then you just could see how hurt she is, right?
Yeah. And the good friend that Squid is, he gives a glance over to Tanya like, let's start singing happy birthday for Rob, but it's just so pathetic.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was so funny. They're, like, trying to sing to cover up the awkwardness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess even more embarrassing than that if you didn't have enough awkwardness, like, here's a bunch more for you. So Rob reveals it's her 30th birthday.
This is your 30th birthday?
Yes.
With just us?
Yeah.
There should be more people here.
No, yeah, I get it. I get it too.
Yeah, Rob's just like, I don't know what her expression is. I guess she's like, yeah, like she like at first she didn't really care about it, but now she's thinking like, oh yeah, it is pretty important. Like, and then she's like, it's like she's finally realizing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was a funny little turn. I think her reaction to that, because we're going back to the thing about, do people want to celebrate their birthday or just like kind of just hide it?
Yeah.
I think she's of the variety of like, she hides it, but secretly she wants people to make a big deal out of it,
Yeah.
So you could tell like when she was hurt by that cake not being for her. But yeah, again, that was a great moment when they're singing happy birthday. At that point, like they all leave. Rob says goodbye to them, and then she sees here's a stunning reveal here, right, in the scene. where she sees Charisse working as a coat check girl. And what was this? Did you catch the name of this hotel or this venue?
I didn't. I did not.
I was trying to like go back and look for it, but like I couldn't find it. Because I know they mentioned it later, but I couldn't really make out what they said. Anyway, so yeah, she puts on her headphones and walking back home on a bridge. Do you know any of these? What these bridges are called? Do you know this area at all, Edwin?
I don't.
Okay.
Don't know any of those bridges.
Yeah. This is a number 2 scene for me because of the fact that she's listening. It's a great music cue when she's listening to Frank Ocean, Nikes by Frank Ocean. So, and it's something that I believe Simon mentioned before in a previous episode, right?
Yeah, it's a very cool song to walk by yourself to, for sure.
Oh, well, does he mention this song at all? I know he mentions Blonde. And then he mentions
I don't know if he mentions Nikes by
name. Okay.
Not that I can remember.
But he does mention Frank Ocean in general, so that's a good callback anyway. So anyway, she's on the bridge, and then she gets this fateful call from Mac.
Let me buy you a birthday drink.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll be there in like half an hour.
Okay. See you soon.
All this stuff. It's just like you could see the kind of, she was just like lonely and sullen and down, and then like Mac calls and like she lights up. So yeah, what do you think of this scene?
Yeah, you could tell that Mac still has some fondness, some feeling for Rob. In fact, that he even remembers that it's her birthday. He's the only one in the whole show that actually remembers. Like, Simon remembers, but after the fact. And Squid and Tanya, they don't remember. They just come out because Rob called them up to hang out, but Mac's the only one who genuinely remembers that it was her birthday. I'm sure Clyde would have if he had known, but Mac's the only one that actually calls her up. And it kind of made me think, if Mac never calls, would she eventually text Clyde back like she said she would? Because that could have led the story down a whole nother path.
Sure.
But what ends up happening is Mac calls, find out that Lily's out of town, and Mac says, oh, let's meet up for a birthday drink, which they do. And Mac was cool enough to bring a nice New York pizza, and it's like he's got a 6-pack of Modelo's.
Right, yeah. So they meet in front of the Allied. Were there any of those moments, top moments for you, or?
Listening to Frank Ocean on the bridge, that was
okay.
One of my,
all right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they meet up at the Allied, and then I guess Rob like lives right there because she's always drinking at the Allied, right?
Yeah.
They eat and drink beer on the rooftop. It seems like a grand old time, right? Just having pizza, drinking beer.
Yeah, and the whole exchange with the pizza, she asks him, is this Juliana's or something? And Mac's like, oh, did you think I'd get you Grimaldi's or something like that?
Yeah.
And Mac makes a comment, oh, you're lucky you got anything at all, which I took as part joke, part truth. Like, he was just joking, but giving her a little jab at the same time, because Rob is selfish, and Rob does feel, entitled at times. And so this was Mac joking, but saying something true about her personality at the same time.
Throwing her like a thinly veiled jab there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he says that like, hey, I've been waiting for this moment since he got back. And then you think he's talking about like them talking, right? And then she's like, yeah, this New York pizza.
I've been waiting for this moment since I've been back.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. New York pizza, man. Mwah. The best.
Well, this whole scene is a top moment for me, number 4, including that music cue, because I remember just hearing this song a lot, like in high school or something, right? You know, it was a top-rated song. It was like, it charted probably too. So, and they're just sitting there talking about life. Mac talks about like Lily's perfection, I guess her like obsessed OCD, you know, and like his hesitation, and he's getting cold feet.
You know, I think what's really freaking me out is what if I fuck it up again? You know, what if I drive her away and mistreat her feelings and then bail out again when it gets too hard?
It shows how much what happened between him and Rob, how much it messed him up and how much it scarred him emotionally and psychologically. So I think this was an important scene and an insight into Mac's character.
Yeah.
That he carried the weight of the breakup of the engagement and all that, and I thought that was a insightful moment into his character.
Yeah, and then this is where the bombshell drops, right? Because this is when Rob pretty much going through her whole day. It's her birthday. You know, she's gone through all this drama. She's having I guess, too late to have a quarter life crisis, but whatever she's going through, some kind of existential crisis, she spells it out. She's like, you know, it's my fault. It's not your fault. I guess she's feeling a little guilty too, because like Mac's there like beating himself up. So Rob confesses it's not his fault. She slept with someone else.
I slept with someone else while we were together.
So we get this huge bombshell. Mac's just like in shock because I guess, you know, he's been blaming himself this whole time, right?
Yeah.
And they, you know, it goes into
it was something he did, or
right. Yeah. They pour it all out on the stairwell, like they're yelling at each other. It's a huge dramatic, like couples moment, you know, like all this drama, all this history pouring out right there. Rob pretty much says like she wasn't ready, and Mac, I guess at this moment, reveals they were on pace to be getting married in 2 weeks. And then he like goes off on her, says like she's a super selfish person, spinning out of control, and like he's not wrong right there. So
I was trying to figure out what the fuck I'd done wrong.
You didn't do anything wrong.
Yes, I know I didn't fucking do anything wrong. You did. You fucked someone else, not me, all right? It was you.
But yeah, it gives us a lot of insight into Rob, right?
Right. I think Mac's line was, "You're one of the most selfish people," and Rob's response was, "Yeah, you know, I'm a effing a-hole."
Yeah, this is...
she realizes that she is selfish, and this whole exchange reveals it to her if she didn't know it already.
Yeah, exactly. And this flash forward, we're going back to, you know, the structure of her telling the story from the steps on her apartment, which we're gonna reveal how she gets there later, but it reveals that. Well, sorry, no. This is a number one moment for me because it pretty much mirrors the moment Rob in the movie is like recounting all the ways in which it was his fault that him and Laura broke up. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I cheated on her. I said this about I wanted to borrow money from her, and I said all this while she was pregnant, and like remember that scene from the movie, right?
Yeah, I remember.
It's pretty much laying out like all these points, point by point, how how much of an asshole Rob is. And then at the end of that exchange, he's like, did I do all those things? He's like, yes. He's like, I am a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
So for that reason alone, it's a number one moment for me because it mirrors that exact plot point, which is really important in the movie, right? Because this whole time, like, we don't know why they broke up, and then at that moment, like, it's revealed that we're following the bad guy, you know? So
Yeah.
it was a very interesting turn in the movie, and I'm not sure how I feel about it in the TV show as of yet. I have some mixed feelings about it, but I'll get into that in our final thoughts on the movie, or sorry, on the episode. So, shall we move on?
Yeah.
Or do you have more? Okay. So Rob's back at the Allied, drinking alone, and then she sees Blake with Simon, right?
Yes. And that was my top moment because it's a nice juxtaposition. You've got Rob with her relationship problems, things going really bad, and then you've got Simon who's just starting this romance with Blake, and so it's the opposite side where you've got this young blossoming romance and Simon's on cloud nine and happy, and it's a nice juxtaposition against Rob and all her problems.
Yeah, I mean, Rob's pretty much straight up like crying alone in the bar. Like, it's like she's basically a cliche at this point. But yeah, they buy her a birthday drink.
You drinking alone?
Oh no, I just had a friend here when they left, but we had a really good time.
And it's funny how like they all cheers, and she's like, "This is the best birthday ever." And it's like so sardonic, right?
To
Birthday.
Fun Rob, Dirty 30.
The Fun Rob, Dirty 30. Infamous Rob.
Best birthday ever.
Back at home, Rob is alone.
Sorry. Before you go to that, there was some conversation between Rob and Simon where Rob was asking Simon, "Oh, did you know that Shreese was working as a coat check girl in the city?" And Simon basically says, "Yeah."
Oh, right. Yeah. That's a very important moment.
For weeks. He's been doing that for weeks. And again, it exposes how Rob is so self-centered, so self-absorbed that she doesn't pay attention to other people's lives and other people's conversations and what they tell her. And so at this moment, Rob feels out of the loop. She realizes that she doesn't pay attention to other people. So these final two episodes are just piling on more instances where Rob is that self-centered jerk who is only focused on her own life and not anybody else's. So I thought that was a nice additional piece that kind of continues on from the exchange with Mac.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. The theme of her being selfish and self-centered and all those things you mentioned are definitely been brewing. It's a huge theme, and it completely, like you said, hits the head in this episode. So Rob's at home alone, throwing away like childhood pictures. She's like this picture of her like so innocent.
Mac used to look at this photo and tell me I look like a sweet kid. I'm sorry, sweet kid.
There's a picture in the trash can.
Yeah, self-criticizing herself right now. And then in all of her haste, she pretty much locked herself out of the apartment with her expensive-ish bottle of champagne.
Right.
She's checking her...
go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, she's like checking her voicemail. Clyde called Rob, forgot to text him. So I guess that wraps up that part of the episode, right?
And then there's a very important part at the end where she's locked out and she calls somebody.
Yeah, we don't know who it is yet. And then
Right, you don't know who it is. Do you still have my key? And the person who we don't know who it is says that that person does, and so that person's on that person's way.
I like how you're trying to be like gender neutral about it.
Yeah.
So as not to reveal it.
You don't know who's on the other end of the line. Is it Clyde? Is it Mac? Is it Charisse? Is it Simon? Who knows? But while Rob's waiting, she sees that old lady that she keeps seeing.
Yep.
Through the whole series is this constant reminder of like, you can end up like this old lady.
Yeah. It's a great metaphor, right? It's a great symbol.
Yeah.
And it's like pretty much like a cautionary tale for her, right? It's like this could be your future if you keep along this path, right? So it's a great way. I mentioned how much I love this image of that lonely. I don't know, does she have a lot of cats? Is she a cat lady?
She could be. I don't think they've depicted her with cats, but yeah, she could. She seems like the stereotypical cat lady.
Yeah, I wrote lonely cat lady, so I don't even know if she has cats, but yeah, it's just a great like way of summarizing this theme, without Rob externalizing it in any way, just to see that it haunts her from time to time. It's a great image. And then the final scene of the episode is the reveal of
that the person she was talking to about having the spirit key was Mac.
Yeah, Mac arrives, and then
even after the whole blow up on the
exactly.
rooftop and in the stairwell,
he's a good guy.
Comes to
right.
Rob's rescue.
Yeah,
and gives her the spirit key that he held on to.
Mm-hmm. Which is a great little image, just them like separated, right, by such a great shot to close the episode.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that brings us to the end of the episode recap. What are your final thoughts and your star rating, Edwin?
I like the heaviness towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
It eventually needed to go there because you could tell throughout the series that Rob is definitely not over her relationship with Mac, and obviously Mac has unresolved issues involving how things ended up with him and Rob, so it eventually had to get here, so
yeah,
I'm glad it did.
And your star rating?
4.5.
Oh, 4.5. Oh, wow. Okay, this is a particularly strong episode for you, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like this episode a lot too. But my star rating is a little bit lower than yours. It's a 3.
Okay.
Just because I have no problem with the execution of that our main theme of Mac and Rob, right? Which which is a running theme through this show, through the film, as well. So, the way it's executed is fine. It's perfect. It's almost pitch perfect. I just think I have a problem with the placement of it. The placement of it is so off to the rest of the series to me. It feels like it's just kind of like they waited for it was like a big reveal that they wanted to give you, and wait till episode 9 or 10 to reveal, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think it wasn't that big of a reveal, it's what happens in the movie, but it's just the way that they use it so kind of haphazardly and like, hey, we need a mystery for you to keep watching and tune along to. I think if they placed this like in the middle of the season, it would have been fine. But the way they placed it now, to me, it seems really off. But who knows? I think if this were the only season, I would criticize it more. But if maybe they have like 2 or 3 seasons or more, but if this was part of like the middle of 2 seasons, it would have been fine. But in the context of this season right now, I feel like it feels rushed and unearned. It feels like they just like put it in at the end. You know what I mean? I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, I really liked it, but I just feel like they shouldn't have waited to this long. Like we haven't seen Mac enough. Last time we saw him was what the Me Time episode, right? Episode 7.
Yeah.
And before that, we spent like maybe 3 or 4 episodes without him. So it just feels like either make him a main character, Mac, I'm saying, or resolve that earlier on in the season and then move on. Because it just feels like they just tacked him on at the end, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my gripe with it. I'm sorry if I went on this long rant. But I do agree with everything you said, Edwin. Like, I feel like the drama of their relationship is strong and their connection is strong. So, but like, let me go back to the movie real quick. Cause like, do you remember when it happened in the movie, when Rob like revealed all this and said, I'm an asshole? It happens like in the middle of the movie, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just a fun dynamic because we were like, do we root for him still? I mean, he's such an asshole. He did all this stuff, and then it's a great theme of anti-heroes, right? In the show, they were talking about like they had a top 5 list of villains,
yeah,
and then most of Rob's was like anti-heroes anyway. So it's like, and Rob is in herself an anti-hero, right?
Yeah.
So it's just an interesting thematic thing that they're doing between the movies and the TV show, right?
Yeah, and if Rob stays this way, then there might not be much to sympathize with. But if Rob changes in a positive way, then we'll be rooting for her. And
yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah, I mean, we're still rooting for. I'm still rooting for her.
Right, she definitely has a realization moment in this episode.
Yeah.
That jolts her, that jars her.
Yeah. So yeah, a little bit of a mixed bag for me. I did like all the humor in the beginning with Tanya and Squid, and we get to spend some time with the gang in the beginning at the record store. But from the duration of the episode, it's pretty much Rob just like looking back. Let me ask you this real quick. Do you think that, because it feels like they broke up around this time, do you think that's why Rob associates like such melancholy with her birthday, because like they broke up around her birthday?
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't make that connection. Could be.
Yeah. That's why she's so like kind of butthurt about like, well, I'm not butthurt, but like just like very sensitive about everything around her birthday, so.
Yeah, that could be. That could explain why she doesn't want to do anything for her birthday.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. Well, this brings us, full circle around to everything, right? Like, if it is, like, she broke up with Mac, or they broke up a year ago, and, this is either a new beginning for her, or just more of the same thing. But cool. Do you have anything else to add to the episode, Edwin?
No, but looking forward to talking about the final 10th episode of season 1.
What do you... Well, have you seen episode 10 yet?
Yes. I have.
Oh, okay. So I was just gonna ask you what do you think is gonna happen, but... Well, let me ask you this, if you can answer it. If you hadn't seen episode 10, what do you think was gonna happen or would want to happen?
I would want the issues between Rob and Mac to be resolved, because they're definitely not resolved.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see Clyde come back into the story because
he's a good character, right?
He's a good character,
yeah.
And after the episode ended, I think it was episode 7, where
at the end of
frustrated and ends up punching the slow gin fizz guy.
yeah.
After that, we don't really see him.
Yeah,
much.
back at the last hurrah.
Yeah, I'd like to see Clyde.
Well, we saw him, but Rob doesn't see him when he calls Rob from the gym, right?
Right.
Yeah. I echo your sentiments. Another thing we forgot to mention was that Mac is about to get married to Lily, and he's having cold feet. So,
Yes.
like, we didn't really address that, but that's a huge, like, thing about Mac, right? Like, he's moved on already, and then now, like, Rob's, like, dropping all this shit now, like, weeks away from his wedding. Like, that's pretty super selfish, too, right? So...
Yeah.
But not that you guys didn't know that already, right? At this point, they hammered that theme home.
Yeah.
So cool. That brings us to the end of episode 9. I really enjoyed talking about this episode with you, Edwin.
Definitely.
Can't wait. Look forward to our talk when we review episode 10, which is the finale of season 1, and it is called The Other Side of the Rock. Interesting title.
Very.
Yeah. So,
looking forward to talking about what that all means.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it seems very cryptic, right? Anyway, you guys can find more of our episodes at highfidelitytv.wordpress.com. You can email us at highfidelitytvpodcast@protonmail.com and find us on Instagram at highfidelitytvpodcast. And you can always find Edwin on Instagram at
BEDWINLEE on Instagram.
Yeah, Bedouin Lee. And you can find me as well. I want to throw in a plug for me because I'm going to be live streaming all this weekend. And you can find me. Well, I'm probably not going to put this up. Well, anyway, either way, you can find my live streams where I DJ live stream mixes at Smosef. That's SMOSEF. I'm trying to get Edwin into that too. So you guys gotta, shout us out and let Edwin know that you want to hear his mix too.
Oh, I've definitely been enjoying your DJ sets. Being isolated here at home, it's a welcome oasis of feeling like I'm out and about.
Sure, yeah. I appreciate your presence too. You're always in there showing me some love. So, thank you, Edwin. All right, and until next time, you guys stay safe. Again, listen to some vinyls and hang in there, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye, everybody.
Hey. Can't believe you still have my key.
It's lucky for you.
Lucky for me.
Now that it's over, I can finally see that all things must change and remain. Like I know you do. People come and go. There's something you should know. Please don't explain. It's the same refrain.